was built to last with the limbs and the weaving. I could change the past to follow on achieving. Got my foot on the gas, never stop.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of On the Mic with Mike. I am your host, Mike Larkin, and joining me today is mixed wrestler, fetish content creator, and a content creator as a whole, the one, the only, Miss Ruby Blue. How you doing, Ruby?
I'm doing awesome. How are you, Mike?
I am good. First, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. I've been seeing a lot of the great work that you've been doing as far as the mixed wrestling side of things go and the fetish stuff goes. I gotta say, I've been enjoying what I'm seeing.
Thank you. I'm fairly new to all this, so I'm just taking it as it comes and enjoying the ride. I guess it's all about a year. So,
well, I will say this, even as someone who is so new to this and really has adapted to it, I look at it like this. With someone who's, I'm going to say, a statuesque and someone with your size and your stature, just you as a whole, it fits, man. It fits to the overall internal and external side of things, you know?
It does. It does. With my past career and just the person that I am, it just kind of makes sense. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for a while. I'm a retired firefighter. I'm a dominant alpha kind of woman. So, and the older I get, the more sure of myself I am. So I'm just trying to have fun and enjoy life. I'm just doing whatever I want to do at this point.
Well, it's how you have to also view it. And I like the fact that you bring that to fruition because, I mean, you go from, let's put this into the forefront here, like you mentioned, you go from being a retired firefighter and to getting in this. I mean, you're saving people, you're putting out fires, you're doing that from the badass side of things. And now this is a great transition to really just showcase your overall external side, the voluptuosity side and the empowerment side. So It goes hand to hand. So you're really helping people, but in different ways and a respectful way.
Yes. I've always been a caretaker. I've always been a helper. I'm retired a little over 20 years in the fire service. I drove a fire truck for better part of 16 years, taught a lot of people how to drive. It was awesome. Saw people's worst day of their life, and it was hard. And so I had to get out, and I did my time. I love what I did. I was there for a purpose, and now it's time to move on and enjoy life and do whatever the next thing is. And it just kind of rolls into this. So this is allowing me to just be me. I've had to be a public servant and just kind of put other things first for a while. And now I just kind of get to relax and enjoy life. And the easy things, the small things that are important, you know?
1000%. And I mean, if you really look at it, and I mean, people say what they will when they look at content creation, especially if you look at more of the adult and the fetish side. I always look at it like this. You have to look at life in itself, much like with this particular form. It was what it is. It's an art form, and you're just applying your craft. You're painting your canvas. And you're looking at it from different lens from people. And I think a lot of people don't realize, yes, it's something different. It's something unique. It's a preference. But there's a lot of people that gravitate towards it. And if you can have somebody gravitate towards what you're doing, then you're golden.
Yep. I've always been an artist. So this is an expression that I haven't been able to really do for most of my life. Just whether it was my own insecurities, my own hindrance, or just decisions that I made that caused and affected what I was able to do. And now I can, fortunately, I'm grateful to have this ability to just kind of explore what's fun and what I enjoy and what feels good. And I am still a helper. I was that for a career for a long time. And now I found this niche of fetish, whatever you want to call it. But these women and these people, it's empowering to be a female in another industry that is strong, that these women are individuals, that everyone is appreciated for who they are. Everyone brings something different to the table. Everyone's strong in their own way. And I find that fascinating because I come from a male dominant field that, you know, my end of my career, I had a volunteer group to try and help women become firefighters. And it's not just physically and mentally be able to, but to understand that you belong in this field and that you serve a purpose and that you have something to offer, and to teach future generations, and especially females for me, that they belong. So to kind of be, that was a life I had for decades of its deep roots and tradition and brotherhood. Yeah, sure, there's a sisterhood, but it's different. There's there has to be time to change, right? To evolve. And you have to be a positive change that makes people receptive. So I was trying to do that at the end of my career in the fire service, and now I get to be a dominant, empowered woman in this fetish wrestling world that is fascinating to me to come be a part of. Like Jen Thomas's fight night last year was a highlight of my year last year. I had no idea that I would find pro wrestling so fascinating, or any of it. And it's just been a great ride to meet all these fascinating women, these strong women that are capable of just making decisions and living their life the way they want, no matter what obstacles they have. So
No,
enjoy the ride.
I like your style, as we should all enjoy this ride and this thing that we call life. I like your style, but no, that's the thing you really have to put into perspective as well. The open-mindedness that also comes with this too. I mean, you hear the old adage and the old saying of like, let your freak flag fly, as the old saying would goes. But I mean, in today's day and age, we're really normalized to the fact of seeing it much like this, or something that was once considered taboo to where we are now. I think we have more people that are not only open-minded, but I think the DGAF meter is up of don't give a fuck mixed with the DIY meter of do it yourself. So there goes with a lot of creativity where you're not stifling on the creativity and you can be more of you with the volume turned up and amplified.
Absolutely. I agree. I think fetish is more acceptable today because like you said, people are letting their freak flags fly. And I think especially, I live in this cute little bubble. I like to call it this pink iridescent bubble is my world, because I don't typically watch news or engage in normal society. I've been retired a little over a year and a half, and I just kind of do my own thing. And, I watch my movies and my TV series shows, but I don't watch news. I don't have regular cable. And it's kind of disturbing to when I step outside that bubble to see what's happening in the world. And I think people are just come to a point where they just, what are we here for? And why? And what do I want? What is this life giving me? And I think it's opening the door more for fetish and that sort of realm. There's extremes on every side of anything you look at. And I think there's always some middle ground and happy medium, whatever, that feels good to me. But some people like to be fringe. I'm definitely fringe to most. But I think it's really cool to kind of start dabbling in this fetish world and to also be a part of it in this time, because I think people are just tired of pretending or worrying who they are or what they need to be for society. And society right now is not very stable. So it's kind of an opportunity to explore and maybe let go of some of those feelings or those inhibitions that won't allow you to express yourself and be you, because there's only one of you. It's like, what kind of world would this be if everybody was the same and we were all drones for these politicians and whatever else is happening in the world? Why? What's the point if there's no beauty and art in it? So fuck it. Excuse me.
Oh, you can curse. You can curse. You're fine. I like it. Straight to the point, blunt. I'm going to go back to the point that you mentioned there, talking about the news. I'm kind of the same way, just like Michael Jackson, 95. You are not alone, because I am one of those people as well. Like, just give me your shows, or you give me the nostalgia TV, or you give me some Netflix. I'm happy. But it is really, we're coming to a day and age where it's like, God dang it, I don't want to watch the news, because all it is this. And one of the things I always say, Ruby, and I think you could concur with me, you have to be a united, not divided front, because we're always doing this. And that's even with social media, because everybody wants to do this. We're in a society of day and age now where it's just like you mentioned, fuck it, we're going to be who we are. We know our purpose, and then boom, I'm going to stay on this path. Hell, there's going to be some twists and turns along the way, but the journey is worth taking. And here you are, much like everybody is. We find ourselves a nice little happy medium. And you mentioned the wrestling side of things, Infamous Sports Entertainment, you and Psycho. I'm talking about Jennifer Thomas doing her thing. Talk about it, because I saw the face paint. I saw you get.
Oh, I loved it.
You got into your little wrestling attire. I loved it. Let's talk about this, because you really got to open up and get on that physicality side, man.
Yeah, I've been physical my whole life, so this was an opportunity to explore a character. I've learned I'm a bit of a, I like to show off. I like the attention. That's kind of why I've gotten into this stuff. I'm hypersexual person. I enjoy the attention. I enjoy what I can do physically, the limits I can push. So I'm kind of the person that's like, sure, why not? What's next?
Sicky, I'm coming in the Cherokee gasoline. There's steam on the window screen. Take it. Wheels bouncing like a trampoline. When I get to where I'm going, gonna have you trembling.
I got to meet Jennifer Thomas, not 2024, but 2023 at Fight Night. And I was just starting to kind of learn about the industry, and I got to work with some of the women. Kind of spring of 2023 is really when I explored mixed wrestling and any of this. I'm into jiu-jitsu. I work out, I do Pilates, boot camps, whatever. I'm good at with lifting heavy and throwing stuff around. I like to work. So I gravitated and it felt good. It was a lot of fun. So I met a bunch of women in the industry, local in Vegas. And then I got to go to Fight Night, meet Jennifer Thomas and a couple of the other women and kind of see what it was all about. And then it progressed to eventually I got to do some work with Jen Thomas and some of the ladies and come around to 2024 Fight Night. A few months beforehand, I put my name in the application, kind of threw it in the ring there, hoping that maybe I'd get a match or something. And I'm kind of new to it. So I think I had a sponsor late in the game, but nothing up front. And my husband, he said, what's the best thing to do when you're the new guy, right? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know anything about pro wrestling. Tell me. He's like, be the heel. And I was like, what? The heel? And so I kind of went down this track of learning all about pro wrestling. And I worked with a pro wrestler to learn some moves. And I started poking at Jen Thomas because this woman who within a year's time, I learned what an amazing human, not only an amazing woman, but an amazing human being. And just admire her. And I look up to her and I just want to help stuff like that. I want to help people like that. I want to cultivate, it takes about 17 seconds for a thought to become energy and put in motion. So, when you start thinking that way and you start putting mindfulness into effort and stuff like that, you can affect a lot of things and do whatever you want to do. So I was very intrigued by Jen Thomas, got to engage with her a couple times, and come around Fight Nights coming up. I put my name in the ring and start poking at her, start making some videos. Because, hey, why aren't we talking about this amazing woman that started this event? It's her retirement debut. It's her last fight. I don't know her well enough, but there's got to be some people that do. Let's celebrate. And how better else to celebrate than to enjoy it? And what I knew of Jen is let me poke a little better, and she loved it. So we just kind of had this little banter, and I kind of became the heel of the evening and found my way into the main match with her and Feisty, what's her, Sassy K. She was awesome. Yeah, she's an amazing woman as well. So yeah, I got to do a little bit of training. I had a fight with Psycho. Psycho is fantastic. She's international wrestler, professional wrestler. She absolutely knows what she's doing. And then I got to do some pro wrestling training with a couple of people in Vegas and kind of get in the last fight with Jen Thomas and Sassy K. So it was a blast. I've done content. I've done the fetish. I've done a spectrum of stuff. And that was the first time that I got to I felt like it's more like an act, really like get into costume, get into makeup and become something get time to focus on it. And I really enjoy that when I do content customs and whatnot. I really like to research and kind of get a feel for what it is that I'm trying to emulate or be, and get into that headspace, and just kind of, it's free. It's art. Like you said, you know, we're artists and we get to express ourselves that way. And it feels healthy. It feels good. So I'm just kind of trying, that's kind of my North Star, is just to do what feels good and healthy and easy, I guess, at this point in my life.
Well, I guess I'm honored to be at the fight night this September for Jennifer Thomas's last fight. But, you know, I'm going to be there, so that makes it more special. But Jennifer Thomas's opponent, though, is some chick named Sassy K. I don't know who she is, but I've seen a picture of her, and she's kind of small. I don't know, maybe 100 pounds, maybe, wet with rocks in her pockets. So it might be a good fight, but obviously Jennifer Thomas doesn't want to work too hard. She wants a solid win, so she's making it easy on herself. I mean, if she wanted a real fight, I'd give her a great send-off. I mean, I'll make her work for it.
Not too stressful.
I gotta say, your husband had the right call with you being the heel, because it's easy to get booed as opposed to being the babyface, where you're cheering and whatnot, because still people boo you when you're a babyface. But I look at it like this, and shout out to Leela, aka Sassy K, does an amazing job, much as Jen does. You have a lot of great women out there, and especially these events, you equate it to like what you see back in the day with the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling Glow back in the 80s, and what WWE and different wrestling promotions have featuring prominent female roles and talents. You have a lot of talent that really, again, of all shapes and sizes, of all different size and strengths. And I mean, you poking holes, showcasing that promo game, the verbal exchange, and then getting in there with Jenny. So you're showcasing the subtleties, intricacies, and nuances that really makes a great professional wrestling character. So you're learning as you go, but also at the same time, too, you have a great mind to what you want to do and put it out into the universe, so to speak. So you're manifesting while also in physical combat, so to speak. So you're doing a lot to really mindful of being that and just doing that, and really everything coming together. So now here you are, you're letting the creative juices flowing. You got the role play going. I saw that little house call there with Pierce Paris on the Twitter.
Yeah,
there.
that was fun.
That's what I'm saying. So you're incorporating the sexual side of things mixed with like cosplay and mixed with role play. So it all comes together with some pure fusion, you know?
Yeah. No, we got to experience AVN this last month, January, the first time. We kind of jumped in. We have a production company that does our own mixed wrestling content with a bunch of these ladies and me. And then there's me on, it's kind of two different branches, Stronger and Sexy and the Ruby Blue, and it's a lot. And then we contract with other companies to do more mixed wrestling, muscle worship type stuff. And we went to AVN because we were curious, and we don't quite fit there, but we don't not fit. We're this blend, this mix, and we don't know. We're still new to all this, so it was fun. It was fascinating to kind of to experience it all. It was exhausting, and I won't do it again. But it's expensive, and time and money and energy. But a lot of the women that are here in town with that fetish side that also do the crossover to the hardcore haven't been able to really engage in that venue. And we were able to if we can monetize our production company enough to just we keep, perpetuating the income into building and moving forward. So if it all makes sense and we can have a good time doing it, whatever, it's not, I think that's the biggest key for me and us and what we do right now is it's we're not holding on. We're not desperate. We don't have to make A to Z work. We can keep trying and failing, and tomorrow's another day. So it's very comforting to kind of just be able to, I did my career, I'm retired, and now I can have fun. And if I can make extra money at it, great. If I can meet some new people at it, fantastic. If I can help a community, improve and just add value and be part of something beautiful, fantastic. AVN was an eye opener, and so far as it's a lot of work. We've been grinding for a year and a half, and we've really kind of done a lot in that time frame. And it's, if we look back on it, it's, you know, we should pat ourselves on the back, but at the same time, there's still a long road ahead. This is a building process in this industry. As we've learned, it's not just, you know, everybody thinks, hey, I'm going to start making this content, I'm going to be making thousands of dollars overnight. It doesn't work that way. You know, it should be coming from your heart. It should be what you enjoy and what you like, and you can find happiness and joy in it. That's what makes it successful, right? Because that's what's going to attracts like. So if you're having a good time, you're going to attract others, and you're going to attract business. You're going to bring it to you. So if it's stressful and I don't enjoy it, then I know it's really simple and maybe myopic, but it kind of, it's if I can get to basics of what I'm here for on this planet, it can really just guide me in almost any decision. So if I'm having a good time, my husband's having a good time, we're making a positive impact on people around us, then that makes sense. If we're feeling like we're pushing a rock uphill and not getting anywhere, then we need to choose a different path. So AVN kind of was an eye opener. We really enjoy what we're doing, but you know, I am retired from a career that has taken a lot. So we're kind of at a nexus, I guess you could say, is we're moving forward, but we've kind of had a regrouping after this convention. We were able to have amazing women like Brandy May, Muscle Marilyn, muscle women like Chelsea Dion, Renee Miller, Brittany Diamond, like these Diana Grace, who's more from the adult industry, just all muscle women to fetish to adult. They all we had an opportunity to come to our booth, and MJ Domino, I love her, just come and hang out and sign autographs. And a lot of the women, Jen Thomas was trying to come out, but with the fires that were happening and everything, she wasn't able to make it. But they haven't really had that extended to them in their entire career, which was fascinating. But we had a different dynamic. Like I said, we don't have to be here. We're just having fun, and we're doing. I just want to do what feels right, and what the universe is kind of helping guide me, and I can make choices, and the universe will definitely provide what I ask for. So as long as I stay true to that, it makes sense, and I will keep doing it. I look forward to maybe bringing Jen Thomas out of retirement this year for the next fight night. We had a little banter back and forth back at the Femdom Awards, and she was shit talking, so I poked it back at her, and she poked back at me, and we talked about maybe she needs to come back, and we need to have a face-off. So that's probably one of my highlights of this year, other than doing the other content that just kind of feels good and we have fun with.
I will say this, you are speaking my language a lot with this, and I'll put this into perspective. I think in life, you always have to be the best representation of your presentation. You have to represent yourself well, and you have to present yourself well. I mean, you look at AVN, and it brings so many different, varieties and fetishes and every career paths together. And I mean, you, like you mentioned with the hypersexuality, showcasing that sensuality, to make a pop culture reference, look at back in 87 with George Michael, I Want Your Sex, epitome of one of the highly charged sexual songs of the 80s. But you're taking something that's so natural and that's so loving and that's so passionate, and you're putting into you, which is your overall being, and you're putting it in translating it to camera size. And I mean, I look at it like this: when you make a film, or whether you do fetish wrestling or whatever, it's not just about going out there and doing it. There's camera, there's lighting, it's everything to make the film spectacular, but you're also doing it in a safe way. And I mean, there's so many different layers to this, and we'll mention the Femdom Awards since you said it, because I'm aware of the trash talk, and I saw you and Skylar Renee getting interviewed there too as well. Mm-hmm. Femdom Awards is very big. It shows another prestige in what you ladies get to do. So you're bringing in a community, and you're also becoming one of the main driving forces of why people want to be a part of this community. So it's a wide range of everything. Everybody just really needs to see the big picture of it, because there is a great big picture out there that you can paint that canvas with.
Oh, she could carry me around the bedroom all night long. Hello.
If I can touch
carry
these,
a few things.
if I can play, I'll carry
Absolutely.
it. Yeah.
All day, any day. Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Ruby,
you.
for joining us.
Thank you. Enjoy tonight.
Appreciate you guys.
Have an
Yes.
amazing time.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating. It's kind of fun to be a part of something so fresh and so new, and that you feel like you can actually affect anything, affect change, affect how it plays out, assisting. I'm in my late 40s, so at this point, it just kind of, I have things to offer that maybe I don't have the speed and the energy of some of the younger ones, but I have the knowledge and the wherewithal to facilitate and affect things that it's just, I can, and it's fun, and that's really, like, do I like this? Do I have fun? Do I want to keep doing this? And that's, like I said before, it's kind of generic and simple, but if you really stick to that kind of idea, what you do is you're going to be happy, which is going to translate to the people around you, and you're going to affect things in a positive way. So however that looks, I don't know, moving forward, I'm just going to keep doing what's fun and what I have a good time doing. And what we produce, who knows? It's been a wild ride to have the OGs like Brandy Main, Jen Thomas, to the new up and coming professional bodybuilders like Chelsea Dion or Rania or Renee Miller, or the local women, the Jolene Hexes, the Agatha Delicious, the Muscle Marilyn, the Skylar Renee's, all these women that I've been able to meet and like cultivate relationships in such a quick time frame. It feels good to be a part of that, to feel like you're actually involved in something. I guess I was in the fire service for just over 20 years, and it was fantastic. But as a woman in that kind of a culture, it's so rooted in these traditions where it's hard for a female, a woman, to find her place in that kind of it's kind of like a fraternity, right? You go hang out at the firehouse for 24 hours. You gotta bleed together. You gotta cry together. You gotta laugh together. And it was phenomenal, and I had a great time. But it also is kind of hard. I fit in. I've always been a tomboy. I've always been the one wrenching on the trucks, off-roading, riding the horses out, building Fords, catching horny toads. Born and raised in Vegas. Just kind of one of those rough girls growing up. Took me a while to figure out how I wanted to be as a woman. So it fit for me, but it's difficult. So to be able to be in that kind of a culture, subculture, to affect and change and have a positive effect, and not feel as warmed and accepted as this next step in my life, this next chapter. It's like, how many people can say, hey man, I just did this career over here for 20 years and started at 25 and retired, and now I get to go over and do this other thing that is 180. And it's not, you don't hear too many retired firefighters turn to fetish porn and mixed wrestling and whatnot, and just it's just me, I guess. So
No, it's an extension, and I love that too, because I mean, it doesn't matter the career path. I mean, if you're passionate about it, do it, number one. But also number two, I equated to it like this: it's like you are very prominent with your muscle worship, and as well as the lifting carries and everything that you do and everything that you produce on camera as well as off camera. I look at it like this: you have people that used to downgrade people who were with and first of all, late 40s over here, Dynamo over here. Let's put that to the forefront, Miss Ruby Blue. You are Dynamo. But I look at it, you're welcome. But it's one of those things too, with like when people see women with muscles, or just in general, one of the terms I used to hate as a kid, because I remember looking at the magazines like the Flexes, which had both men and women respectively on bodybuilding magazines. You look at it and you hear terms like, if a woman has muscles, and I mean, you equate it to wrestling. China, God rest their soul, beautiful woman, muscular, kicked ass, took names. But if you're a woman with muscles, the term would always be mannish, which is just number one, it's degrading. Number two, it's wrong. But also number three, if you can enjoy a beautiful woman for their external beauty, it doesn't matter if it's muscles or not. There's beauty in everything that goes into one's mind, spirit, and body as a whole. So we're in a day and age where not only is that normalized, not only is that badassery at its finest, but you'll find a lot of men with different preferences and different facets and fetishes that they like, such as muscle worship and everything. So you're opening up a new band of audience, or for people that are like, yeah, maybe I didn't like that. You know what? Fuck it. This is what I like, and this is what I'm open to. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, right. Why not, man? If you like it, why not?
Exactly.
You're not hurting anybody. Why not, man? I mean, I've always been a bigger woman. I'm 5'11", and at 15 years old, I was a late bloomer. So 15, I was still going through puberty. I grew another inch in high school, which was not normal for a sophomore female in school. So I was always like big. I always thought that all my girlfriends were 5'2". I'm 5'2" in 5th grade and taller than the moms, and then get hit high school and I'm almost 6 feet tall and a big woman, just not a beanpole, just sturdy. So I had coaches, hey, you want to play basketball? Come try out. And I played softball for a little bit. I tried basketball. I hated it. I did not like the contact. I want to fight everybody. It's like, you're pushing me around. What's happening? I don't know. My parents weren't really into sports. So I had athletic ability, but I didn't get to exploit it or develop it until later, till after I was out of high school, and I realized how much I like to be physical. So it's kind of it's fun to be in this now and be a strong woman. And I used to feel like I was always too big, too fat, too tall, too whatever. I didn't want to wear heels. Now it's like I'm 5'11". Oh man, give me stilettos, give me platforms, whatever. I'll be 6'5". I'll stand up and look down. That's fine. That's fun. But back then I was like, oh no, I can't, guys won't like this, won't like that. Now I don't care so much, right? I got the love of my life. I've lived life. I know what I want. I know what I don't want. And I can have a good time. So it's fun to embrace who I am. Kind of wish I would have done it sooner in life, but hey, here I am. And the only reason I need to know that that's the way it needed to be is that's how it happened. So I get to enjoy it now, and I get to be around all these other women that can feel the same. So it's pretty badass, I have to say.
It is. And I mean, Ruby, if you really look at the trajectory of life and people's journeys, I mean, we are very timid and we're very shy, and we have a clear perception of what we think things should have been back in the day, or what we could have done and changed. But I think as we grow and adapt as people, which is just such a great learning process at the end of the day, we do find what we like, and we find what we're into, and we do find our purpose. And I think thus far within your tenure, I think you are doing amazing. And personally, myself, and I'm sure that people can agree with me, we cannot wait to see what you do going forward. I mean, if your stuff with Jolene and Agatha Delicious is any indication, like I know, just the chemistry is on point. You're learning about the wrestling, yeah.
They're amazing humans. Yeah,
they are. They're just so powerful. And I mean, we mentioned another powerhouse, and I mean, shout out to those ladies and all the great ladies that are in sessions and doing this mixed wrestling bag of just awesomeness, to put it in the bluntest of terms. We mentioned, I had her on last time, Brandy May. You two, I gotta say, you two on screen, man, the lifting carries. I mean, there's Gymnast Alexia. There's so many people there. There's Lexa Stahl. Like you and Brandy, I know Lexa's great too. Like she came from the bodybuilding field and really opened up her own right. Like
I love her. She's a badass. She's such a hard worker.
She's so good
too. She's such a cool chick. We got to meet Lexa last year a couple times, and Lexa Stahl actually helped bring me out of my shell. I love Rice Krispie treats.
I took a big bite.
Do you miss these, Lexa? Huh?
They're so tasty and homemade.
When are we going to see you again, Lexa? Not till the fight night, September 21st.
Infamous Sports Entertainment putting it
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Get your tickets. Karma Club events. KarmaClubLV.org.
Yeah, .org.
We'll have Rice Krispie treats for you.
And lots of really hot, strong female
women,
wrestlers and bodybuilders, and just insane
women.
Right?
Sexy and strong.
And Ruby's gonna have these.
I'm sharing with Brandy right now. Don't be jealous. I love you too. I'll have them for you too.
I'm eating them all up.
We'll have more when you show up. I hope to see you there. So I retired from the fire department September of 23. I'd already been kind of dabbling with just posting FetLife or whatever, but nothing, trying to monetize or do anything with, because with my career, I couldn't really do both. So I was kind of, a little bit of an exhibitionist, kind of posting here and there, having fun, and but not showing my face or tattoo, and not for any sort of platform for monetizing. And after I retired, we kept doing the production work, and Lexa Stahl came out to work with us, and she was, I don't know, I think she was 25 or just turned 26 when we met her, or she was going to turn 26 in January, and she was out in December for, I believe, the second time. And we kind of kept going back and forth, like, am I going to full send? Am I just going to put myself out there? I have had this other career of being a public servant, and what are people going to think? And, it's a transition. You have to process and decide what's good for you, what's not good for you. And that's, something that kind of everyone has to kind of come to terms with when they come to a career or, industry like this. Do you care? Do you not care? I had to sort that out with myself and decide, you know what? This is me. I'm having fun. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm having the time of my life. So full send. So Lexa Stahl came out, stayed with us. We filmed, hung out with her for a few days, and hanging around that lady for a couple days. I was like, yeah, who cares? I'm doing me. I'm going to do what feels right. I'm going to do what I want, and full send. So that's when I started showing my face and doing all the content I wanted to do, getting more into the mixed wrestling, getting more into the customs with, these amazing women. We've mentioned several of them, but Brandy, I got to work with her kind of almost a year into it. And, she's an OG. She's phenomenal. I love that woman. She is a businesswoman, and she is down to earth, and she's a sweetheart. And, she's not my age, but she's closer to my age than some of these women. So we kind of felt like we bonded a little bit on that I could pick her brain quite a bit, and we could relate on, the mommy muscle fetish and some of those things. And the one video that I did do with her with Patrick Starr, he's one of our guys that is pretty new that we were able to find a few months ago. Then he just kind of has jumped into the industry and is having a blast with us. That's been one of our number one sellers. Brandy and I just vibing off each other and having a lift and carry shoot with Patrick. And that was a lot of fun. So, if I can keep recreating and interacting with that kind of fun and excitement, that's what I'm looking for right now.
It reminds me of, and it makes me smile that we're saying a lot of these names, and just the lift and carries and Patrick Stars and what we got to see on screen with that particular film. But I look at it like this. It's just like you mentioned women like a Brandy May with what she's doing, Niche Boutique, and being the multifaceted woman that she is. Lexa Stahl was like, and I've had her on the show, where she's like, you know what, fuck it. I did my bodybuilding thing, but I'm going to go into this, and I love this. And you mentioned jujitsu, like you're taking classes and you're doing a physical activity and you're learning the art form of what it actually is. And you mentioned the beautiful MJ, the Dominator Domino. MJ, she's so powerful, and she's just really getting into and sinking her teeth and really learning. She's a dynamo, right?
Yeah. She's fun and sweet. She's, it's so interesting. I don't know if it's a time on target thing, but a lot of the people we've met were similar, and we're very forward, and we're a lot, right? We're intense. We're going to command our audience. We're going to command our space and energy. And sometimes it can be a little much for some people. And I haven't always been that way. I used to be a shy little girl. I used to hide behind my dad's leg and didn't want to, pay for the Slurpee. And then I morphed it over time into this person that, was going to be the first one that shakes your hand and says hi and tries to help you. And we're all very intense that way so far that my experience. And at the same time, we have this introverted personality that it's a lot for us. Like we want this connection. We want to reach out to all these people and interact with them. But at the same time, on a certain level, all of us can commiserate and say that we have a hard time being social, because we are a little fringe and we are a little out there, and social settings can be challenging and difficult for us. And I find it's beautiful that I can all these strong people, mostly these session women that I've been able to engage with. We enjoy the attention and putting ourselves out there and being these strong characters, but at the same time, it's a lot of energy and effort that you kind of, it's like being an extroverted introvert. You have to, it's a lot to go out and do that, and you're driven to do it, but at the same time, it's difficult. And to go out and like to go to the convention, I know several of the women that were there, including myself and my husband. It's difficult. It's overwhelming. It's a little scary, which is kind of I don't know. It's almost funny to see a lot of people in the industry. They found their place, but yet their place isn't in mainstream society. So to go out and do these other functions is a lot. It's an effort, because a lot of these people have been able to build their own little worlds however they see fit and to live the way they want to live, which is commendable. But then when you got to go out and function at these other events, we all find the social anxiety can be a little overwhelming. So we find a little, solidarity within each other when we get to hang out with each other, which is nice.
Oh, of course. And I mean, it's all about networking, and also it's all about communication and connection. And I mean, I get it from the extrovert and the introvert side of things. I mean, it's like you're in one way and then you're around all these people. I mean, it's one of the things, like even us, we can be shy in our younger years. And as we get older, we start to really open up. But I mean, it's one of those things where I think it's great too, just because it can be a lot and it can be social anxiety. But I think, again, with the community that we have, and the community that's very open-minded with what we do and what we get to enjoy and what we like, it brings people together, and it is a lot. But I got to say, the grind never stops. But also at the second time too, you do really get to meet a lot of good people out there. And I think that outweighs the negative, because we're always trying to find the positives. And I think with what you're doing and how you're really placing yourself within this platform and this community, it's all about staying positively proactive. And if you keep that up, I think you're golden, man. I can't wait to see it.
I agree. If it doesn't feel good, if we're not having fun, then I'm in the wrong place. And the universe will tell me where I should be. I just have to listen. Really. You have to make a choice, and then you have to listen. It doesn't always typically never looks the way you think it's going to, but the universe will always give you what you ask for. So
beautifully and eloquently said. And I will say this, man, you do rock with the badass image. It's nice to see that you showed your face, you showed the muscles, you showed the tats, because a lot of people are digging it, man. I can see it. I see it, like nice little flex. Yeah. But that's it too. It's like even even just that ounce of just personality and everything that goes a long way. And I think it really is shining through. I'm happy for you.
Sweet. Thank you. That's fun. I just, I'm having fun. So that's it. Like I keep saying, let's distill it down to that and go from there. If it's, I'm a grinder. I'm willing to work and do a lot of things. So sometimes I'll get down that wrong path and keep going at something. And then find myself stuck in a place that I didn't really expect to be, but that's where I found myself because I chose to do certain things, and then I'll just kind of redirect and find my path and figure it out and move on. So hopefully this year will be even better than last. I
think it will. I think with what we get to see, I think if you really look at life in itself and how we really see through the years, so to speak, it's all about moments and memories created and moments and memories yet to be created. So, I mean, just continue to create those moments and memories. That's really how you have to look at it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And of course, and I will say this about you, Miss Ruby Blue. First and foremost, you had me laughing at the basketball side of things, because I mean, and I'll make a pop culture reference here. It's like back in the day. No, it's like the Disney Channel. It's like Double Teamed. I'm talking about Heather and Heidi Burge, man, the two twins who were tall as hell, and they got that college ride, which that was based off. So you were no Heather and Heidi Burge. You were just on that basketball team, but it wasn't for you, even though your tallness and just dunking on them, dunking the pumpkin, if you will.
No, they started checking me, and I was like, "What are you doing? Don't touch me!" So I did softball for a little while, and I like I said, my parents were into sports. I stopped sports, and then once I got out of high school, I started doing individual sports like running and triathlons and those kind of things. That I enjoyed until I got into the more grappling, jiu-jitsu type stuff. But yeah, no, I'm not a team sports person.
Let's talk about the jiu-jitsu for a minute here, because like I said, I mean, we definitely see a lot of the work that you do on film from the kids, the physicality side of things. But I think a lot of people don't realize just like how beautiful, number one, but also number two, how hardworking and how disciplined jiu-jitsu is, because discipline goes a long way in any form of combat.
Yeah, I love jiu-jitsu. I was training, I started in 2018, summer of 2018, and then trained for, a little over a year, and then COVID hit. So kind of slowed down, stopped. I made it to blue belt before COVID hit. So a year after starting, that's pretty good. About a year as a white belt. There's not as many belts in jiu-jitsu as some of the other martial arts. It's, to be really, I would say, to get to black belt, if you're training consistently at least 3+ times a week for years on end, maybe you get a black belt in 7 years, 7 to 10 years. Most people don't make it past white belt. I can't remember what the percentage is. My husband could tell you, but after white belt, if you make it to blue belt, your chance of making it to black belt is slim, but it's significantly better if you've committed that far. So just the techniques, and I'm older, so to learn is harder, right? To retain, to be willing to be receptive to learning a new technique, and then really hearing it, learning it, practicing it, ingraining it, and repetition is obviously going to be more important for me than a younger person. So I do what I can. I try and be more mindful of my body and flow more so than rigid. I think jiu-jitsu is a beautiful art. It's a martial art. Sure, you can do serious damage and kill people, but at the same time, it's this beautiful flow of figuring out a problem as the problem's trying to figure you out, and engaging, right? You have to touch and engage, and that, I think, is one of the hardest things for people. If you're not a touchy person, jiu-jitsu isn't going to be your thing. One of my love language is touch, so I'm all about touch and engaging. If rolling is still difficult, if I'm rolling with someone I don't know, I still have to get on the mats, and now I have to go up against someone I don't know their skill, they don't know my skill, and this creates a whole different level of anxiety, stress, whatever, and that's a healthy thing. Most people don't want to engage in that, and that's probably the hardest thing for me when I started. Was I actually got to get on the mats with these guys and roll, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to try and figure it out, and these guys are more experienced and can teach and show me, but then I got to make sure that I'm keeping up and learning and functioning with these guys in a safe manner, that I don't get myself hurt, because as you get older, you get an injury. Sure, it takes 6 to 8 weeks to heal, but it's never healed in 6 to 8 weeks. I don't know any injury that I've sustained in the last decade that doesn't take a year to fully heal. So, with my prior career, I had to be safe with what I did. If I got an injury that I could hit the floor and I couldn't show up at the firehouse and do my job and climb a ladder or drive a truck or pull a hose line, then I can't do my job. So I was always careful of injuries before, so I try and do the same now. It's easy in that kind of sport to get hurt. I'm just about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was rolling just to kind of stay warm and to practice, and pop my ankle. Well, It felt fine after a day. and he moved, I moved, and it was like pop, and the sound was worse than the feel. But the next week I went to AVN and had to wear high heels and all these shoes, and after that I'm like icing and contrast therapy on my ankle. But hey, I get through it, I'm okay. So jiu-jitsu is a lot of fun, but it's very tough, it's very demanding, technically and physically, so you got to make sure you balance that. At this point, I don't train as often as I would like, but being in this industry at this point, that is definitely going to be one of my ace in the hole kind of things. The more jiu-jitsu I become more proficient at, the better it is that I'm going to be competing moving forward in the mixed wrestling world, for sure. And there's women in town that would love just to train and practice. my husband's a black belt. I'm a blue belt, and so he can teach and I can help. And so hopefully we get some training going on, and we get a bunch of these women in town to get better at jiu-jitsu and more proficient at our craft, which is fun as well.
I will say this: he's a black belt, you're a blue belt, so you're both making them black and blue. I see the style there. So, I like that. No, but in all seriousness, I think that's great, and I think not only do you have the great mindset for it, but I think having the right teacher, having the right school, and having the right area and to learn from and from everybody, I think that makes us not only stronger, but it's fundamentals and discipline. Like we mentioned, it's a grind, and things in life are going to be tough. But I think through getting through the toughness and getting through the injuries and the trials and tribulations and everything that foresees us, it just makes us stronger. And I got to say, you are a strong son of a gun from being a firefighter to what you're doing now. Ruby Blue, I got to say, don't make me black and blue. You don't make me blue. You make me smile. You make me happy, as it does with all of our listeners here. I really am excited to see where your journey does continue to grow and continue to strive. And I'm going to put the overture out here, ma'am. Anytime you want to come back on the show for a round two, I'd love to have you. This has been a blast.
I would love to. First time I've been able to meet you and interact with you. I saw your interview with Brandy, and that was enough. Like, I just watched that, and you're very personable, but you listen. You really listen and absorb and translate. It's I appreciate that. That's fun. You've taken interest, and that feels nice. That feels nice coming from someone that's not quite sure what she's doing and new in this place. So thank you very much for reaching out to me and inviting me on your show. I'm very happy to be here.
Oh, you're very welcome, and the feeling is mutual, ma'am. And I mean, for someone who's been doing it a year, I mean, it only keeps going. I mean, you look at professional wrestlers, some people even in their first year, like look at The Rock, for God's sake. He comes out as Rocky Maivia, he's a smiley baby face, but once he raises that eyebrow and he says, if you smell what The Rock is cooking, he's golden. So, I mean, everybody starts somewhere, you know what I'm saying? But, right? So everybody starts somewhere, but I cannot wait to see where it goes. I honestly do, and I take interest in every guest, and I think you can see what this – no, I agree, and this is the platform to tell your story, and that's what it's all about. Telling that story. Yes.
This has been my first opportunity to do so. So you've gotten the exclusive on Ruby Blue. I've mentioned that I'm a retired firefighter on other platforms briefly, but it hasn't been. It's still kind of an ace in the hole again that I hold dear that haven't used as to get my name out there. But I haven't really been able to. I haven't done any cam work. It's been custom on my own personal stuff, or the infamous sports entertainment event. That was probably one of the biggest events since I've started this thing. That was really able to just kind of be me, not just, showing my body or doing fetish stuff, but just to be me and be creative and artistic. And so this is just, to me, this is similar. It's just me getting to be me and really just talk about what I'm doing and who I am. And I'm not like most people. I have a story to tell, and thank you for giving me a platform to tell it.
Of course. And I mean, if you look at the name Marketing Blue, I just even mentioned it like this. With a name like Ruby Blue, you leave in black and blue. You mentioned that. I mean, we could also go to the point of like, hey, man, if you want to do some comedy work with it, Eiffel 65, I'm Blue Abadia Badai, to take it back to 1999. I mean, there's many ways you can do with it. So, I mean, hey, it works. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? It works.
Yeah, I'm in. Whatever sounds fun, let's do it. I'm down.
It absolutely works. Now, Ruby, before we do close this out, you are on a myriad of social media. Where can we follow you? The floor is yours, man.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so I guess strongerandsexy.com is our website. It's not a great website. We've been working on it, but it's where all our videos are. It's where I don't work for too many producers. I've only worked for a couple. So if you want Ruby Blue, OnlyFans is definitely the main platform to find me as far as day-to-day, subscription content. Twitter, IG, Ruby Blue 702, Ruby Blue .702, Ruby Blue _702, any of that, you're going to find me on all the platforms. Twitter, OF, IG, FetLife. That was kind of where I came from personally in my own personal life, kind of where I started to develop this on camera, on scene thing character that morphed into where I am now. But yeah, I'm pretty accessible actually. I just do what feels right, and what I have fun as I learn and go. You know, I adjust and change, but I engage with most people, most platforms, if they're kind and they're looking for something, or they want, you know, custom, or my email is, I have a link tree that's on IG that's really easy to get to any of my platforms.
Well, the links will be in the description, and you did mention Stronger and Sexy early. Check out the videos on strongerandsexy.com. The links will be in there as well for Stronger and Sexy. I gotta say, man, very multifaceted, wide array, and I will say this: I love the handle just because of Ruby Blue 702 Las Vegas, where my girl's at from the front to back to take it back to the 90s.
That's
But
right.
I look at it from the stance too. Check out Ruby Blue on all her forms of social media. And if you want to subscribe to this channel, check out Mike Larkin 92 for all the On the Mic with Mike series and a whole lot of, if you will, of shows and just overall content. And before we close this out, Ruby Blue, do you have any final words for the people, your fans thus far? Any final words for people that have been on with you with this journey thus far within your tenure?
Thank you for being here. Thanks for being along for the ride. It's been fascinating and exciting, and I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I guarantee it's going to be a good time, and it's going to change, and I'm going to grow and do whatever it is that I want to do. So if you're interested, stick around. I'm reachable. I like to, that's one reason why I'm here, is I really like the engaging. As introverted as I can be, I need that connection. That energy fills my cup. So stick around and reach out.
I like your style, and I'll add one little final thing to that, because it's been very apparent throughout this entire show, and I think it really sums up this woman right here. It's pretty much, she's ready to have fun, but she's also ready to fuck shit up in the process, if I'm being as blunt as possible. There you go. I like your style.
Bring it.
Yeah, man. So with that, I like it. So to be completely honest, folks, as we always say with this show, life is an art form. We're all applying our crafts. Continue to apply your craft in amazing fashion. And it's the mindset. It's everything that goes into my being and everything that we all should stand for. Beauty, strength, and dominance, the three key elements that make women the work of art that they are. And Ruby Blue, I include you in those sentiments. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Mike. You're amazing. Appreciate it.
As are you. Thank you.
I was built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I can change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on the gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna end.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quench the thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic with this logic, you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic. Go! To last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah. I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep them out your face, no way, you don't want them, yeah. Don't try to drain my energy. The enemy is everything. It's mentally unhealthy.